Welcome to Finding Monster Rights,
the show about Nope. Can't think of anything.
It's the show about monsters in history, mythology.
We've been thinking about making the intro a little bit, just a little spicier than the show about monsters.
Yeah.
But we can't think of anything.
We should do it before we start recording.
No, okay, listen, Alright, we're inside the factory now. You're watching how the sausage gets made.
Yes, my name tag says, "Hi, I'm Adam."
And my name tag was the hunt for my name tag was ended in April 2017, with the Ugandan spokesperson saying that the name tag no longer poses a threat to us as Uganda. At that time, its force was estimated to have shrunk to around 100 soldiers. I'm not saying my name tag was Joseph Kony, but I am saying that was correct, and it is.
Our monster that we've cornered in this session is the Centaur.
Specifically, our episode title is Centaurs. Save a horse. Ride a horse boy. The question we're going to answer today is it okay to ride a centaur?
And this is not we're not, accepting a 50-50 answer. We don't want the Centaur's permission. We need to get a definitive answer.
I think when we ask, is it okay, we don't mean, physically, can you ride one? We mean, is it cool with the Centaur?
Well, I rented this saddle for nothing.
Where do you rent a saddle?
It's half saddle, half backpack.
Well, that's exactly what you would need, and who's selling these? I've been doing some research to prepare for this episode.
I am excited to learn more about centaurs and where they're from. If they come from a horse place or a people place, my money's on the former.
You might be a little bit right and a little bit surprised.
Alright, so time for On the Origin of Screamies.
On the Origin of the Screamies. A title that I came up with and no longer love. Alright, so the simplest explanation of the origins of the centaur is that it comes from Greek mythology.
Okay. Well, I guess a short episode.
Ixion, the king of the Lapith people of Thessaly, lusted after the goddess Hera. Hera, in order to prove the king's lust to her husband Zeus, disguised the cloud nymph Nephele as herself. Ixion and Nephele hit it off, and from that union the centaurs were created. Other stories say that Ixion and Nephele's son Centaurus mated with mares from Magnesia to produce the monstrous race. Still other stories say that Zeus created a race of horned centaurs when he masturbated onto the soil of Cyprus, because his daughter Aphrodite had eluded him. I am not really a big fan of Greek mythology. And
I am concerned that this is going to be many episodes. We're going to learn about the ills and weird fetishes of the Greek pantheon.
Being half human and half beast, the centaurs were a liminal symbol, a literary metaphor that represents a transition between two states of being. For example, the story of the Centauromachi, the war between the Lapiths and their centaur cousins, is interpreted by some as an allegory for the transition from barbarism to civilization. In this case, civilization refers to the bloody conquest of less technologically advanced cultures, and the centaurs are an unkind representation of those barbarian cultures.
Now, I'm concerned that because there are many hybrid creatures in Greek mythology, they can't all stand for transitions, right?
Well, sometimes it's a transition from people to horse, and sometimes it's a transition from people to lion and also scorpion. It's nuance. The Greeks, they invented literary creatures identical to centaurs also appear in other mythologies. The character of Polkon from Russian folktales, the Kanara tribe is said to live in the Himalayas, and a mythical Yadava prince cursed in the old Srikanteswaram temple in Kerala. Why does this exact shape repeat itself in totally different parts of Eurasia? I believe one possible answer can be found in an account of events that took place half a world away, in the Mexican state of Tabasco. I'm letting you. I'm sorry for. I'm sorry for like refusing to let you butt in, but I was trying to get to Tabasco because I knew that was going to be a place where you could spread your wings and fly.
Yeah, no, I was stunned because I was about to say something like, oh yeah, all those horse cultures. I wonder how they came up with the crazy idea that a man but a horse also. But then you said Tabasco, Mexico, which that opens up a whole can of worms here.
Well, get ready for some historical worms. I'm going to put some ambience under this. I'm going to put some ambience under this whole dang segment. Here we go. On the 14th of March, 1519, Chontal Maya, led by Halak Unique Tabscub, and Spanish infantrymen, led by Hernan Cortez, were locked in battle outside the city of Centla. The Spanish had firearms, but the Maya outnumbered them 100 to 1. Neither side could gain the upper hand until the Spanish cavalry arrived. According to the memoirs of the conquistador Bernal Diaz del Castillo, the remaining Maya then broke rank, believing that each horse and rider together were one terrifying monster.
Oh, actually, I am familiar with that story. I know of the conquistadors. I like historical wars before they were all guns. So it's like right at the end of the era when it was half guns.
No, that really does kind of ruin things.
But no, that and it makes sense. It's the horses when they first came to the New World. That's where
hold on.
The legend comes from.
That's going to be the next paragraph that you've just said in a much shorter, funnier way.
Okay.
While the word of a conquistador should be taken with a grain of salt, this account does at least posit that members of a culture who hadn't previously encountered horses misidentified a horse and rider as a single centaur-like creature. Perhaps this mistake is easy to make from a distance, or in the heat of battle. Maybe the Eurasian centaurs and centaur-like creatures are the narrative descendants of similar illusory creatures who were observed on the battlefields of the Central Asian steppe, where horses were first domesticated and ridden almost 7,000 years ago. How fascinating it is, then, that the later Greek centaurs exhibit so many permutations. Later artifacts and literature depict female centaurs, known as centaurides, winged centaurs, centaurs with human forelegs, etc. I personally would wildly speculate that this represents a transition from centaurs being used as a metaphor for horse-riding peoples to centaurs being used as varyingly elaborate liminal symbols. Maybe if the Spanish had for some reason packed up and left after the Battle of Centla, in 1,000 years the descendants of Tabscub's army would have written their own Centauramachy, and the transition from feared monster to literary symbol would have repeated itself again. And that was on the origin of the Screamies. I've been home all this past week.
I was gonna say
I read for our Goofball Monsters show a book called Mexico: Two Perspectives by Stuart Chase. I read the whole book because one chapter was about that battle. I hate quarantine. I need to just get out onto the fields of Pennsylvania and just gallop about and eat people food and also horse food.
Which gets us into the challenge of the centaur and treat them like people, treat them like horses.
Treat them like people, treat them like horses. I mean, it depends on if... Symbolically, I think the idea is that they're kind of both.
Yeah, they exist in both worlds. Like a small settler boy raised by Native Americans.
Yeah, that is a particular story.
It's Call of the Wild, I think.
Does that happen in Call of the Wild? I'm pretty sure Call of the Wild is about a wolf. This is embarrassing for me because White Fang is like my favorite book, and I know that Call of the Wild is like White Fang but backwards, but I haven't read Call of the Wild.
It's The Light in the Forest, actually, is what I was thinking of. Yeah, no, all the books from that era follow that title format.
They really do. Is it racist to ask a centaur for a ride?
So, I think that this can be answered by looking at how centaurs would feel about regular horses.
Oh my god.
Would they be like, hey, what's up, bro? Or would they be like, oh man, I can't wait to ride that horse?
Neither of those. Either of those. Like, imagine like a thing that's just like a pair of legs with like a weird bird dog thing head on it, just running around.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a human, except that they have no arms. And instead of a head, there's like a bird head. I would be like, "What's up, dude?"
No, I would be freaked out if I were a centaur and I saw a horse.
What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, well, that's all. That answers that. So, therefore, therefore, a centaur. Okay, I'm thinking of the scenario that's humans riding each other, like a piggyback. You know, a classic children's adult hybrid game.
Okay. I'm sure that is a situation where a person rides another person. Oh yeah, my point was I consider myself rather empathetic. Right? Would you say that? I need you to say that I'm empathetic.
Yes.
Good. So, I will be a centaur, and my name will be Bourbon Sunset, because in my D&D universe, all centaurs have racehorse names. I want you to just be like a regular person named Adam, or you could come up with a name if you want.
Oh, Bourbon Sunset's already taken. So yeah, Adam works.
All right.
We need a setting.
Yes, you are...
A laundromat?
Yes, okay. A laundromat.
Ding ding. Can't wait to do all my laundry here. Got a good podcast to listen to. It's about monsters, I think. There's a lot of history.
Why am I even here? I don't wear clothes. What am I doing?
Whoa! Excuse me, sir. I need to get to that machine behind you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I see how to do like a 3-point turn to get out these narrow hallways of this laundromat.
Well, you know, I'm 200 years old. You kind of figure out how to do that very deftly and majestically, like a beautiful stallion.
My name's Adam.
My name is Bourbon Sunset. My dad's name was Firebird Sunset, and my mother's name was Dreams of Santa Fe.
Putting in shirts.
You know,
putting in underwear.
You know, this is a weird topic to breach. Isn't it kind of weird that humans have to wear clothes, but centaurs don't?
Oh yeah, it's weird. I didn't even notice. Would you put your pants on the front half or the back half?
If they made pants for centaurs, and I've seen like some stuff on, like on BuzzFeed that's like, finally, centaur pants are here and we are living for them, but like they're really cumbersome. It's like they're taking the entire like lower half and just like buttoning.
You wouldn't happen to have like 50 cents, would you?
Sure. Let me check my my belt pouch, which is the only piece of equipment I have on.
Yeah, because I'm 2 quarters short, and I want to break like a 20.
Well, you're just in luck. I just happen to have exactly 2.
Great. How do you feel about... It occurs to me, as I do this laundry, that I'm not sure what to ask you. And that going to the scene, I should have prepared some kind of goal here. But now I'm just watching my laundry spin. Make another 60 minutes of this, I suppose.
Huh. What an interesting situation you found yourself in.
So what are you doing here?
I'm here to clean up a mess.
Are you a centaur cop? Oh, nope. You're a centaur hitman, and I've been the hit.
Yes. You never saw it coming.
Hand me the bleach.
Simulation terminated.
So, that took some turns.
Yeah, I was...
Okay, this time you're the centaur. Hold on, we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
What's our MO?
Our MO is, okay.
That's what I thought. That was the problem the first time.
All right.
There's no answer to that question.
I want to answer our central question.
All right.
And I wanted to answer it by getting into going a mile in Centaurs' shoes, but what I didn't know is that you have to nail those, and it was incredibly painful. And by the time it was all done, I wasn't ready to empathize with anybody.
All right, I think we need to first establish the world we're operating in here when it comes to centaurs, because different people depict them with different capabilities. If a centaur is like, all right, you have all the rights of a person and all the rights of a horse.
What?
Yes.
What rights does a horse have? Bathroom. Never mind.
Yeah, you can just go wherever you want.
I guarantee that that's not a rule for centaurs. They have to have a special bathroom, right?
Yeah, but you can't fit into like a porta potty.
I don't see. If I were a centaur, I would not be upset about not being able to fit in a porta potty.
Yeah, then there's like ACA compliances. So I guess in a world with centaurs, you would have.
They could never work construction.
So yeah. That's correct. Which is unfortunate because they have to be proficient with nails and hammers to put their shoes on in the morning.
Huh. Yeah, I guess so. Well, I think the reason why you have to nail in the horseshoe is because the horse is dumb and doesn't know better. But if a centaur would know better.
You think they made like centaur Reeboks?
Ooh, but nope. I can't think of a horse pun about Reeboks. Maybe that's why they're so, they normally do archery or whatever.
Why specifically?
Well, because they can't do construction, so they do archery. They can't create, they can only destroy. And also, like, imagine a centaur with a sword or like a knife. Like, it would be so easy to get away. Like, just go a little bit around and you're safe.
Mm-hmm. So I think the archery must come from them being in their speed, being that fast and moving around that much. I guess like a chariot, ideal for ranged combat opposed to physical.
Yeah, and also there's just the fact that, like, horse riding peoples. You saw the last good scene in Game of Thrones. You saw the Dothraki, like, jumping on their horses' backs and shooting arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
In my interpretation of centaurs as a metaphor for steppe peoples, that's probably why they're good at archery. And they're also good.
Yeah, I guess that makes.
Sorry, I'm awful.
Here,
okay, we need to do something about the fact that I keep interrupting you. You interrupted me a couple of times in the last episode, but this episode, it's all on me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's our game plan here. It's our subject matter. We've almost made this too loose. Like there's no rhyme or reason, no direction. I could immediately start talking about centaurs and their fashion, centaurs, and I don't see where we're getting at.
Okay, I think I can solve this. I will be a human princess, and you will be a centaur that has come to my castle to seek an audience with me, because there's some kind of labor dispute or some kind of problem that the royals can solve that affects the centaurs and their way of life.
Okay, great.
All right.
But ding ding ding.
Come in. Why do we have a little ringing thing over the door?
That was your teller.
Ah, yes, of course, my teller, who I've trusted long these many years, these many moons. I see that you are not announced, and I would like an apology from my staff.
I am Rao of the Four-Footed.
Well, Rao of the Four-Footed, I am Princess Washington. Princess Carrie Washington. I still have the quarters from the last sketch.
Right. And,
What reason do you seek my audience on this fine Wednesday?
My people, we till the earth. We turn the tide of the soil.
Very poetic.
3 years we have served this kingdom.
Yes, it's a recent alliance, but one that I think has proven fruitful for us, and I hope for you. But it sounds like you have a problem of some sort that needs my attention.
Our land. That's it. It's our land.
Oh.
I have 100 of my brothers and sisters outside with spears.
Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, this is a weird question.
I've come for your head, or your declaration of sign of independence.
Well, okay, hold up. I think we need to... Is it okay if I ride you? Fuck it, end the scene. End the scene, abort. Abort.
Simulation terminated.
I've been trying to, I was hoping that, getting into the Centaurs' mindset, if the other person just asked them if it was okay to ride them, that you would come up with, an answer suddenly. But instead, the Centaurs are just really game for that Centauramaki. Maybe the Greeks were right.
There is a tower, and with that question on it, and a moat around it, and we showed up with ropes, and we're like, I don't know, maybe I could try and lasso the tower. No, that's not it. Make a rope bridge. We do not have the right tool to siege this tower,
and all of the moat is full of the albino alligators of political assassination.
Yes. There's no... Okay. In order to find out if you can ride a centaur, we need to ask a real centaur.
Where can we find one of those? You did not have a plan for this.
No.
Okay. Alright, look. Game time. Put your game face on. Turn
my game face
turn
is
on your video so I can see that your game face is on.
What sport do you think?
Oh, that's a game face.
Do you think
I like your shirt. It looks nice.
Thanks.
Alright. This is already creepy. I hate this.
So do you think polo is a sport?
Yes.
Traditionally, people riding horses.
Mm-hmm.
A centaur could play the sport of polo no trouble whatsoever.
I think so. I don't know the rules of polo. It's kind of like croquet.
Yes.
But I also don't know how that works.
You take a couple sewing needles and you knit one, purl two.
Wait a minute, centaurs would be great at polo. Because they're proficient in hammers. From their shoes.
Right, so they'd be pretty good at polo players.
Do you think the dwarves, do you think they're mad at the centaurs? Because of their hammer proficiency?
I don't know. I don't know how to ask a dwarf either.
What if it's an emergency? Can you ride a centaur then?
Yeah, I think in the same way that a neighbor might give you a ride in their car, a centaur, if I had a centaur as a neighbor, and I'm like, oh man, I need to get to the hospital. I broke my leg, and I can't drive. I have to call an Uber, or an ambulance, and oh man, that's a lot of money. And he'd be like, oh no worries, man, I got you.
What is this world you've created where centaurs are real, but Medicare for all in the United States remains an impossible fantasy?
No, I'm going to be honest with you here. 2 weeks ago, I saw the Disney Pixar movie Onward, and that is the only centaur in my brain right now.
Oh, there's a centaur in Onward?
Yeah, he's a cop, and he's a bad stepdad, and he does centaur shit, and he does cop shit. He rides a police car, but he also runs fast.
Like, he pees wherever he wants without any rules, but also he does centaur stuff?
Yeah, he kind of rides the line between both activities. So yeah, I think a centaur could absolutely say, "Oh yeah, I'll be a horse for you." That said, I don't have to.
That's like
I could just
the lyrics
I
of
could just put my I could put my hooves down right now and prevent and say that no, you have to treat me like a human. I think they ride that line per the its symbolism.
I feel like that's really asking a lot of the non-centaur people.
How so?
Maybe I'm biased because I'm not a centaur. But it just seems like I'm a person today, I'm a horse today. Like,
Oh yeah, no, there's some real privilege that comes with being a centaur.
I mean, we're getting off topic.
You don't think about it.
You were talking about the centaur cop from the movie Onward.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to send this monster to monster rehab.
All right. Yes. What position in society would this centaur best fill?
Yeah. What position in society? What job would a centaur have? Would a centaur be a good cop in real life? I think no.
It's weird. Like belts is the problem. Cops need belts.
Well, centaurs have belts. We learned that in the laundromat. Where the centaur,
it's like the one thing they have.
The centaur assassin who only had in his little belt pouch a shotgun, 50 cents, and a picture of his dead wife. And like some grizzled cigarette butts.
We also learned in the laundromat that centaurs have trouble turning around. I think, for some reason, that's a real big cop thing in my mind.
No, wait a minute. Hold on, we're being idiots here. That's like the one person that still rides a horse is cops sometimes.
Yeah, wait a second. Hang on. Yeah, no, a Mountie.
Like a Mountie, but also like just in the city, they have like pedestrian cops on horseback. Or like cops that police pedestrians. Because horse is faster than man is slower than car. But horse can get more places.
It's probably where the Onward team connected the dots.
You know what? That makes complete sense. Now I feel like that's a little uncreative. You know, somebody just saw a cop from far away and they were like, a cop centaur. Oh wait, no, it's a person riding a horse. I make that mistake all the time. Hi, I'm ancient Greece. Yeah, so, librarian. Yes or no?
I know that the centaur in the Harry Potter world eventually becomes a professor of sorts.
Right, because the greatest centaur of all, Charon, was the teacher of Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
It's weird that his name is Charon, though. Charon? Charon? You know your brother's name?
Yeah. With a C.
Are you okay with saying it on air?
Yeah.
Well, you have another podcast with him about Kenan and Kel.
Yes.
Anyway, your brother's name is Aaron. We should ask him about this.
How he feels.
How would you pronounce Charon? How would you pronounce the centaur's name Charon in a way that doesn't sound like Karen?
The thing about centaurs that we know. We did this last week, and I think or last time. I think it's a good point. Let's break centaur down to 3 features. That aren't man or horse.
Okay, good. I was gonna say. Right.
Right.
What are 3 things about a centaur that we know for sure? Number 1, archery.
Athletic.
Okay. Does archery count as a subset of athletic?
Yes.
Yes, okay, athletic. Horny.
Cumbersome.
Okay, wow. That's awkward for them. I think that might be 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Athletic, horny, and cumbersome. I mean...
Works for me. It's like the cumbersome, yeah, they have a large body in no matter what society. If you had like if society was built around centaurs, like it would still be tough, right?
I think maybe they would
like there'd have to be barn doors everywhere, big hallways.
I think maybe they would live more out in the suburbs. I don't think there would be a lot of city centaurs.
Sure. But that's what I'm getting at. It's their body makes for trouble getting around.
Yes.
So a job like a doctor where it's like, oh, whoops, whoops, I knocked over all the scalpels. It's bad.
Doctor, why are you whinnying? You don't have a horse mouth.
That's a good point.
Shut up, Sarah. I can do whatever I want. I'm a horse doctor man. The Sarah in that little bit that I just did, that little side adventure, was also a doctor, not a nurse. I was picturing Sarah Chalk from Scrubs, actually, specifically, so you know I meant it.
Yeah, not doctor, bad butcher, candlestick maker, probably not.
No.
Librarian, no, you knock over stuff. I'm thinking of a job where you don't have to knock over stuff. Where it's like an astronaut.
No, okay. Alright, wait. What did we start the segment out with? Construction worker can't work, right?
Yes.
Demolitions experts. Just like, oh man, we can't afford a wrecking ball. Or like the wrecking ball fell off the big chain or something. And then like, send in the Centaur. And just like, you go around and you just try to turn around a lot until the whole building's destroyed.
Make a big horse mess.
Just make a big horse mess. Just go all horse crazy in there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. Demolitions, basically. Although, I think we're going to run demolition... If we put demolitions on the table, we're going to find many monsters that can only do that.
You're right. I don't think we can open that can of worms. Oh, what about a grocer?
I mean... So...
Wait a minute.
Again... The human half is going to be right there with the cash register in that little tiny booth, and the horse half is going to be blocking the next aisle over.
We'll make a big booth. Here's an interesting point. Centaur, really intimidating, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Well, I mean, in a sense, hear me out. If like
not
the person,
super intimidating.
No, but if the person at the cash register is like a 14-year-old and you're like some asshole old person and like you are afraid of death and so you want to yell at the young people, like you'll bite that kid's head off. But if the person behind the counter is a centaur, even if they're also 14, like if they've got a My Chemical Romance t-shirt and no pants because they're a centaur, and like some like really dark raccoon eyes eyeliner, and they're like, oh, it's $1.50 for sugar. It went up because of the demands of the centaur people. Then, like, you're not going to say anything. That's a whole horse behind that kid. So
yeah, he has all the power of a horse.
Has all the power of a horse and a teen, which is infinite. I think retail is where the centaurs wind up.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And
customer service, but it's like, you would not ask them for help, which is what you want in a customer service. I've worked retail before. It's not fun, and the worst part is when people approach me. So that'd make the job pretty digestible.
Yeah, which is good because you'd have like 2 stomachs.
Yeah, all the more reason.
Oh,
and yeah, you could handle that food court food if we're at like a Macy's.
You could. Would a centaur be okay with if it broke its leg?
No.
Like, when a horse breaks its leg...
You have to go down. Maybe... I'm assuming this world has health facilities suitable for horses?
Yeah. I think a centaur would know, like... I think the problem with the horse breaking its leg is that the horse is just kind of a big idiot.
Yeah, right. That's... a big idiot with a broken leg is a bad combo.
Right, but the centaur is kind of like a person, and they know, like, they have crutches and stuff. So I think that all the broken leg jokes about centaurs don't really hold water.
So 2 things that just came to my mind recently. One, centaur in a mall cop.
Ooh.
Might be the perfect job, like a Segway.
You know what?
Have all this maneuverability.
Yeah, but also wouldn't it not go for all the displays? Wouldn't he or she or they knock over all the displays because centaurs are people?
Malls have they're not tight corners like grocery stores. They're actually big, wide open, corridors and stuff like that.
That is true. But what if it's like a crowd?
Even if you went into like the Gap, it'd be like, oh, I can't knock over this giant display of jeans.
Would centaurs need like clothing department store mannequins?
Yes.
Would they need their own centaur-shaped ones, or would they just be able to use the people ones? Because it's like, I don't wear pants.
You can use two people ones, but one has to be like bent over.
There are some very disturbing centaur things that I found in my research of like centaurs where like the front horse legs are people legs, and like it's a little terracotta sculpture that clearly has human genitals and horse genitals and a human butt and a horse butt. Like the horse is just coming out of like the base of the person's spine. Like it's so upsetting.
The one part I didn't understand about that was the horse butt, the human butt. Like just on the top of the. How does that human butt work?
So like,
where does the horse butt get its food?
Imagine that the horse part comes out of like the base of the spine on the lumbar vertebrae.
Yeah, but
and then
how does the horse butt get its food?
That's really the question for our time, isn't it?
Yeah. Or does the human butt do nothing? Is it just for show?
Listener, right now, what I want you to do is, until such a time where Trump is no longer president, what I want you to do is your duty as a patriot is to tweet the president and ask him, how does the horse butt get his food? Really know what it means? No. Does he know what anything means? I don't think so.
Your duty is to find out the purpose of that horse booty.
Yeah. So just tweet at POTUS or whatever. How does the horse butt get its food? And then throw in a hashtag of hashtag Eric. I want him to think that Eric's behind this. I don't want this to come back to us.
Yeah. If I was a centaur, and I was at the mall with my significant centaur, and they broke their leg, I would help them along.
Like, put them across your back?
Yep. If it was like if it was my child that's a centaur, I would totally give them a ride on my back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's not...
Yeah, like, I couldn't carry them under my arm, and if my legs have all the powers of a horse, then yes, I would.
Yeah. Oh, man, piggybacks with the centaur would be super easy.
Yeah, they'd line right up.
That's the point that you made earlier.
So yeah, no, I think you can ride a centaur.
Does this have anything to do with the fact that we're almost 45 minutes into the recording?
Well, astute listeners might not hear the incredible lack of silence, so they might see we're only at 25 minutes.
That is true. I did do a lot of editing. And we have not done literally anything to address the problems that I noticed and brought to our mutual attention.
We need a third scene to really just solidify this point. You are going to be the centaur from the laundromat scene. I'm going to be the centaur from the princess scene.
Oh, okay.
And you need to provide us a setting.
Fuck. Alright, I'm going to go with my instincts. I'm going to go with what I was going to say, and I'm going to say boat. I don't think this is a great idea, but here we are.
Maybe we should have done the mall, since we determined that's a great spot for centaurs.
Okay. It's a mall on a cruise ship.
Ba-ding-ding.
Huh, I wonder why they have that here.
It's a boat. They always have bells to alert people of the coming tide.
Huh. That's interesting. Well,
my name is Raoul.
Oh, sorry. Alright. My name is Bourbon Sunset.
Nice to meet you. I see that we're roommates.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it was such a cheap deal on those cruise ship tickets.
I'm here with 100 of my brothers and sisters.
So, finance was not really a problem for you then, I assume.
We're taking back the sea.
Wow. You're kind of a conquistador, aren't you?
Yes, I want to travel to the new world.
I kind of thought this was a cruise ship. Which world are you talking about? Because we're in a world where cruise ships exist, and I don't think they existed in, like, the age of sail.
Ah, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Spanish for the rich coast.
Yes, it'll be ours.
Yeah.
Come join us, brother or sister.
I am, Bourbon Sunset. Bourbon is a boy's name, clearly.
Brother, come join us.
Well, alright. Pura vida, I guess.
We're having a rally on the top deck.
Alright. Hey, on our way up there, what situation would you let a person, like a human person, ride you? I know that centaurs give each other rides, like, all the time. For, like, emergencies and piggyback rides and stuff.
If we had similar objectives, it was in our common interest.
Like you were both going to slay some Dark Lord or some orc prince.
Or perhaps to want to confuse some natives. And they might think that there's a creature with 2 torsos and 1 horse body.
Hey, how do you feel about horses?
Ooh.
And scene.
So you pictured what I pictured as well, which was bourbon sunset, enjoying a bourbon sunset, watching the sunsets, just sitting on the deck, having a good time.
Blew out his flip-flop, looking for his lost shaker assault.
There's a question that I want to end with. Can a centaur swim?
Horses can swim, so I think so, yeah.
All right.
Is it like a romantic thing to ride a centaur? If you had a centaur girlfriend, would you ride on her as like a PDA thing?
I don't think I would. It's like it's a weird PDA is hugging from the back while like on their back.
Oh my gosh, that is just what that is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like we can't like make out with each other.
How do you make out with a centaur? Find out next week.
There's only one centaur part to make out with, fortunately. This isn't like a double butt scenario.
Oh, God. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast.
You can find us on Twitter at MonsterRightPod.
You can find us if you believe.
Yes, you can. Right. No, you just need like a solid detective, a private investigator.
You'll never find me.
Have a nice time. And ride your centaur buddy with permission.
Or don't. I guess those are your only options.
Yeah, it's covering all bases.
Coney 2012. We can find him.